At first glance, the 2009 D. Abraham Lincoln penny looks like just another 1-cent coin, something most people would toss into a jar, forget in a drawer, or spend without a second thought. But the moment you look closer, the design starts telling a much deeper story. This is not a random penny from modern circulation. It is part of the special Lincoln Bicentennial Cent series, created to celebrate the 200th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The image of young Lincoln sitting on a log, reading while taking a break from hard labor, instantly gives this coin a cinematic personality. It feels less like ordinary money and more like a miniature historical scene struck in copper-colored metal. That is exactly why collectors, history lovers, and treasure hunters pay attention to it, because this small cent carries the image of one of America's most legendary presidents at the beginning of his rise, long before the White House, long before fame, and long before history turned him into an icon. What makes this particular 2009 penny so fascinating is that it was never meant to be just a standard design. In 2009, the United States Mint released 4 special reverse designs to honor different stages of Lincoln's life, and the one you described, the young man reading while seated on a log, represents his early years in Indiana, where he educated himself through relentless determination. That detail matters because this coin is really about ambition, hunger for knowledge, and the making of greatness. Lincoln was born into poverty, lived a rugged frontier life, and had very limited formal schooling, yet he developed himself by reading whenever he could. So when collectors hold this coin, they are not just holding currency. They are holding a symbolic portrait of self-education, discipline, and raw human potential. The coin becomes powerful because it shows that before Abraham Lincoln became a president, he was simply a young man fighting against limitations with nothing but hard work and a book in his hands. The wording on the coin adds even more patriotic and historical weight to the design. On the obverse, you see Lincoln's portrait along with "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the date 2009, while the D mint mark shows it was struck in Denver. On the reverse, the coin includes United States of America, E pluribus unum, and 1 cent, tying the piece to the long tradition of American small-denomination coinage. What makes this especially interesting is that many people confuse the word bicentennial and assume every special 200-year coin is part of the same family, but this one belongs to a different celebration entirely. It is a Lincoln bicentennial coin, not a Revolutionary War bicentennial coin. That difference is huge because the value, historical meaning, and collector demand come from Lincoln's personal anniversary, not from the 1776 independence commemoration. In other words, this coin is not famous because it is old in the classic sense. It is famous because it was issued as a modern commemorative tribute to one of the most respected figures in American history. Now comes the part that excites collectors the most: value. Most 2009 D. Lincoln bicentennial cents are still common enough that ordinary circulated examples are usually worth only a small premium over face value. That means if the coin has been heavily used, scratched, darkened, or damaged, it is often more historic than expensive. But the real action begins when the coin is found in brilliant uncirculated condition, especially with strong original color, sharp details, and no distracting marks. In that kind of state, the coin becomes far more desirable because collectors want examples that still look crisp, fresh, and almost untouched by the real world. A beautiful red mint state example can sell for much more than a worn brown piece, and if it reaches very high certified grades, the price can rise dramatically. This is where beginners get surprised. The same design that seems ordinary in pocket change can become truly collectible when condition enters the equation. In coin collecting, the jump from average to exceptional can completely change the money. Even more thrilling are the error versions, because error coins are where modern cents can suddenly become serious collector prizes. A 2009 D. Lincoln bicentennial cent with a dramatic off-center strike, doubled die features, die cracks, clipped planchet, wrong planchet strike, or major misalignment can attract much stronger attention than a normal coin. These errors are exciting because they represent the mint making a mistake and the coin somehow escaping into circulation anyway. That accidental survival creates rarity, and rarity creates value. Some error coins are minor and only interest specialists, while others are bold enough to be noticed instantly and can command very impressive prices. On a coin like this, collectors may look for doubled lettering, strange distortions in the design, unusual surfaces, or mismatched metal appearance. Most coins will not have these features, of course, But the possibility is what keeps people searching. The dream is simple and irresistible. One unusual penny, found by chance, could be worth far more than anyone expected from a 1-cent coin. Another reason this coin has such strong storytelling power is that it captures a version of Lincoln many people never stopped to imagine. Most coins and monuments show him as the stern statesman, the powerful president, the face carved into stone, or the man of national crisis. But this design gives us Lincoln before all of that, when he was still forming himself in silence. There is something deeply magnetic about a future president sitting outdoors with a book, surrounded by hardship, yet clearly moving towards something bigger than his circumstances. That emotional quality gives the coin more than collector value. It gives it narrative value. For content creators, YouTube storytellers, and coin channels, this is gold, because you are not just talking about metal composition or market pricing. You are talking about a humble 1-cent coin that visually captures the birth of greatness. That is the kind of angle that makes viewers stay, because it feels inspiring, historical, and dramatic all at once. Still, one of the biggest mistakes people make is believing that every 2009 Lincoln log cabin or log reading cent is automatically rare and worth a fortune. The truth is more subtle and much more interesting. This coin is collectible because of its historical role, special one-year design, and possible high-grade or error potential. But not every example is a jackpot. A normal circulated coin may only be worth a little more than 1 cent, while a gem-quality red example or a significant mint error can be worth many times more. So the real secret is not hype alone, but knowledge. Collectors who understand color designation, strike quality, surface preservation, mint marks, and authentic errors have a major advantage over people chasing fantasies. That is why this coin sits in such a fascinating middle ground. It is common enough to be found, but special enough that the right example can still feel like a hidden prize. That balance is exactly what keeps interest alive year after year. In the end, the 2009 D. Abraham Lincoln Reading on a Log Penny is one of those coins that proves greatness does not have to come in large size or huge denomination. It is only a cent, yet it carries symbolism, national memory, artistic storytelling, and the thrilling possibility of collector value. It honors a young Lincoln who built himself through reading and effort, and that alone gives the coin a kind of quiet power that many flashier designs never achieve. For most people, it may remain a beautiful commemorative penny, but for sharp-eyed collectors, high-grade hunters, and error specialists, it can be far more than that. It can be a modern American coin with historical soul and real market potential. So if someone finds this coin in change, the smart move is not to dismiss it instantly, but to inspect it carefully, study its condition, and respect the story locked inside it. Sometimes the most unforgettable treasure is not the coin that shouts the loudest, but the one that whispers history from the palm of your hand.